Let's have a conversation.
I want to take this time to thank everybody for their support of myself, Mark, and the music and mental health movement. Please take this time to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank you. What's happening, everybody? Good evening. I'm back on this thing again. Sorry for anyone who was on my earlier video that I was making. It was just a quick recap of the call that I got about Don't Forget the Lyrics. And I got a call in the middle of that. So I had to hop off. But I'm back again. And I am here for a reaction. Notice I said reaction rather than recap for the Challenge Ride or Dies episode 17, which was part 1 of the finale. I love finales, y'all. I love finales. The Challenge USA finale left a bad taste in my mouth, so I was hoping that this one would be better. And so far, sheesh, man. The reason I'm calling this a reaction instead of a recap is because y'all know when I do my recaps, I take very detailed notes and I break everything down piece by piece. This one, I'm not really going to do that. I'm just going to talk about some of my thoughts that I had going in. This is all I have. I have like a couple of things written down, but this is just freestyle basically. So we had our 4 teams, which are Horacio and Olivia, Bananas and Nanny. We got Tori and Devin, and we got Jordan and Anissa. Now, let's line this up. I felt all season that the team that was in the most advantageous position from the jump, I was like, Tori and Devin are a team because they're actually very close friends in real life. And I know that some of the other ones are kind of friends too. And I know that maybe Nani and Bananas have known each other even longer than Tori has known Devin. But the thing is, Nani and Bananas have had their ups and downs. It's actually kind of a weird situation. You know, like they met on the show. They hooked up. I believe they were together for a period of time. Then they had an ugly, messy breakup. They became exes. They both dated other people since then. They have a weird relationship. I just saw Tori and Devin as the most dangerous pair, not necessarily because top physical abilities or top mental abilities, even though Devin is really good with puzzles and math and memorization and stuff like that. So that's an advantage for him in that regard. But they work together seamlessly. They're both good at the game. They're both good at the challenge. But the working together part of it is why I always saw them as the biggest threat. And I wondered to myself, how did Devin continually manage to downplay their threat level during the season? Because nobody was like, oh, we're worried about Tori and Devin. That was a team y'all should have been worried about. But I digress. Horacio and Olivia. Horacio is obviously the man. He's a beast. He and Olivia won several eliminations. He's tied, I think. I think he ended the season tied for the most elimination wins in one season. Awesome. Olivia, she did well. There were some challenges that she did better than others, but overall she was good. So that was basically the top 2 teams that I had. Now, Bananas and Nani, I would never count out Bananas. He's a 7-time winner for a reason. Do I think that they were the best physical or mental competitors? No. but they are most definitely the team with the most experience collectively. And Bananas is the one with the most wins. Um, but I didn't have them in the lead or anything like that. I just said it's a possibility. It's like Tom Brady. It's like Tom Brady being in the NFL. I am actually not sure what down below is. What is down below? But yeah, like Johnny Bananas being in any finals is like Tom Brady being in the NFL. You're like, what is this old dog gonna do? And then all of a sudden he wins, and you're like, how did that happen? So, not that I have counted him out, but I would have him ranked. If I was ranking them, I would put Tori and Devin first, Horacio and Olivia second, Bananas and Nanny third, and Jordan and Anissa last. And yes, that's because of Anissa. Don't get me wrong. I love Anissa. Anissa is one of my favorite challengers of all time. She's definitely one of my favorite challengers of all time. But the modern day final involves a lot of cardio, a lot of endurance, a lot of endurance. So you can win like a daily, or you can win a head to head, or even a 2-on-2 elimination, because it's not as lengthy as doing a modern day challenge final. So that's the reason why I had her and Jordan in my last place slot automatically. So we had a few things that they did. They did some running. So they started off, as far as I know, I might get the order wrong. I'm sorry if I do. Like I said, I didn't take any notes, but they started off with a drive. They said this is a 100-hour final. We didn't know that part of the 100 hours was going to be the drive there. So it showed like the drive seemed to have taken a couple of the hours. And then the first day, the first night, because it was supposed to be like a 4-night final, I believe, they had to ride a bike and get to 100 kilometers collectively. And then once they get to their 100 kilometers, you get to pitch a tent. You get supplies for a tent, and you pitch the tent for the night. Devin seemed to be on to something when he was like, there's no benefit in finishing this particular challenge fast because it is inconsequential to the final, aside from getting your tent up faster and I guess getting some more sleep. Horacio and Olivia, it's their first final. It's their first final, so I'm not really surprised that they gunned for it and they got it. So they were the first people to pitch their tent. But I'm not even going to talk about all of this first night stuff because it was not really a part of the final. It was just one of the days. It was a creative way that they made it add up to 100 hours. So the next day, it looked like they had some sort of running that they had to do. They had to run and get to checkpoints, and there was different things that they do at those checkpoints. Y'all know the final formula. Y'all know the formula for the finals. So they had running. They had this thing where they had to throw the bolas. I don't know what that game is called, but I remember, if any of you watch Big Brother, I remember watching Monty Taylor and Turner play that game every night, where they had the bolas on the strings, and then they throw it and try to get it around the pole, whatever. Yeah, they had to get 10 of those things on that target, and then they got to choose who they can sabotage, and sabotaging was giving them more of this nasty concoction of whatever it was, blended nasty stuff that they had to drink. And yeah, they sabotaged Anissa and Jordan the least because I think they consider them the smallest threat. Anissa twisted her ankle early on. So her and Jordan were arguing, and she was walking, and he was like, "This is a final. My legacy's on the line, man. My legacy's on the line." Yeah. So Tori and Devin smoked everybody on this day that they showed us. And I thought that they were going to do very well together. They don't really argue. They're patient with each other, which is funny because they used to argue all the time. It's like they went to some partners therapy or something together and came into this season as like best friends that have never had any problems with each other. So they were the first ones to leave that station. There was another station where they had to run and get tires, and the tires had the names of everybody who had been eliminated from the challenge this season, and they had to stack the tires in order. Again, Tori and Devin finished first, and it seemed like they had a pretty wide lead. And Bananas and Nanny were kind of funny. Like they were just arguing back and forth, which is true to form. And Nanny was saying in the confessional, she was like, to other people, this would look like we hate each other, but basically saying their friendship is kind of dysfunctional, but it works for them. And I guess it does. Bananas, I found all that joking that he was doing to be kind of weird. I don't know if the joking is like a mechanism for him where he's like, I feel this slipping away and I have to make jokes to kind of get myself through it. But Nanny was serious and focused the majority of the time. And Bananas was just cracking jokes like he wasn't trying to get that 8th win for real. But he did get more serious as time went on. And he was telling Nanny, remember what you're doing it for, which was her mother who passed away before the season. The major thing. There's other things that I could be talking about, but the major thing that happened on this episode was when we got to Horacio and Olivia on this slingshot. So what it is they had a slingshot and they had to put 4 golf balls through a target. So each partner had to get 2 of them because they got sabotaged. Each partner had to put 2 golf clubs through the target. So Horacio got his 2 and Olivia needed to get her 2. So Olivia previously had sliced her finger open on one of those bolas and it was bleeding profusely. It had to get medical attention and she had it wrapped up. So it impacted her ability to properly hold and pull this sling because I believe it happened on her right hand, and the right hand was the hand that she was pulling back with. I think that was the case. And so she had to try to do it like one-handed, and then she was trying to do it with the hand that was severely impacted by her previous injury. And I remember they showed her pulling the slingshot back. They zoomed in on the golf ball. She pulled the slingshot back and they zoomed in on the golf ball. And I remember looking at it and I was like, that golf ball looks really loose in that slingshot. But I didn't know what was about to happen. 2 seconds later, I remember she's holding it. I remember Horacio standing on the side, looking at her, and then pulls it back. The slingshot comes back the other way, and the golf ball smacks her in the face in point blank range. And I gasped. I was like, it felt like when I was watching one of those horrific sports injuries. And she was like, I broke my nose. And I was like, I hope she's okay. I know she's okay because I've seen her on social media since then. But I was like, that is a horrific end to a season. So then all the moments of what happened, it was such a huge emotional moment. All the stuff that happened after that. So I remember she was just like, oh man, I can't. Like, I'm sorry. She's telling Horacio, I'm sorry. He's like, don't apologize. She was like, I didn't quit. I'm not a quitter. He's like, no, you didn't quit. This is not quitting. So the ambulance came. So he came in the ambulance with her. And she kept asking, like, how does my nose look? He's like, you're fine. You're good. You're good. You're fine. And I know that it was a lot for him in that moment because he wanted her to be okay, but also he wanted to win. But what impressed me so much about Horacio in that moment is the fact that he put aside his desire to win, which is a strong one, for that moment to be there for his partner. Y'all remember how Fessy reacted when Casey injured herself? Like, he didn't, and that's his real life, ride or die. That's like supposed to be one of his ride or dies in real life. So Horacio is a gentleman, just like an all around classy guy, man. Classy guy. Because putting myself in those shoes, I want to say that I would have the same reaction, but I don't know. Because imagine if you get on this TV show, it's your first season, there's $1 million on the line. And in a split second, this horrific freak accident happens. And your chance of $1 million is gone instantly. I want to say that I would be like, don't worry about the money. All that matters is your face, your nose. All that matters is getting you well. I want to say that I would be that guy. I feel like I would be that guy, but regardless, it's impressive. And also, Olivia's badass, man. She kept going after that first injury where she was gushing blood out of her hand when the bolas cut her finger, sliced off all that skin and did everything that it did. She's like, I'm not a quitter. That was already impressive. The fact that she kept going was impressive. Then she gets hit in the face, point blank range, with a freaking golf ball. And she's still thinking about the game. She's like, I'm sorry I let you down. I would be delirious in that moment. Yeah, it's even more painful than I'm making it sound. It's even more painful than I'm making it sound. Or it looks even more painful. Let's say that. Thank goodness I haven't experienced anything like that. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Ashley. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I would probably, and that was probably exactly what he was. 90% 90% that guy on the outside and 10% disappointed on the inside. Oh my God. I'm not a person that does well with that stuff, like seeing it. I'm traumatized. I watched it before work this morning and I was like, I should have watched it after work. This is mortifying. But she's a good sport because I was on her Instagram today and she posted all these golf jokes. I'm like, So when they're in the ambulance, they medically deem her unable to continue. Obviously, her face looked terrible. And he was like, I'm going to do it alone. I'm going to do it for both of us. Like, I'm going to run this. I'll do double the work, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, poor guy. I don't know if he's unfamiliar with how the challenge works, but they were never going to let him do that. And I was just waiting for TJ to say the slogan. You live or die by your ride or die. I'm telling you, that's ingrained in my head at this point. You live or die by your ride or die. You live or die by your ride or die. I know there's some websites that have counters of how many times he said that. It's probably a lot. I knew that when he got to TJ, that's what TJ was going to say. You live or die by your ride or die. I'm sorry, man. You live or die by your ride or die. You live or die by your ride or die. Anyways, I'm done. It's just an endless loop that just has been playing through my head all season. So, yeah. So he asked, and TJ was like, I'm sorry, man. You live or die by your ride or die. Your partner can't continue. Unfortunately, you can't continue either. The look that this man had on his face at this point, I don't want to be dramatic, but I remember in like 1995 or something, 94, when The Lion King came out and Simba was tricked into his dad going in that gorge and getting trampled to death. And then Simba being under Mufasa's paw and being like, Dad, wake up. We got to go home. Like, that's the look, that's the feel that I got from looking at this man's face, man. And when the executive producer got in front of the camera and hugged him, I was like, oh, this is so painful. I love this guy, Horacio. I am not a person who easily accepts rookies. We've gotten so many rookies where I'm like, I hope this is your first and last time on the challenge. You're no CT. You're no Wes. You're no Cara Maria, Laurel, all these stars and legends that I grew up watching and loving. It was so sad watching them. Oh. Yeah, he was. It's funny. I was watching Wes's Patreon recap. And he was like, I would never cry. But you know what I was thinking to myself? He said I would never cry in this kind of setting as an adult man. But I recall watching, I think it was Wes's first win. I think it was the first time Wes won the challenge. And he was bawling like a baby. And he was like, I'm so happy I won this. I'm going to buy this house and move in with Johanna. Oh my God, I'm so happy I got this money. Like, I know he didn't cry this last time that he won, when he won the challenge All-Stars, but he definitely cried the first time that he won the challenge. So he would probably explain himself and try to and say that it's a different scenario, but I like the emotions, man. It's just like when I watch sports. Sometimes you sit there and you're like, these entitled millionaires just going back and forth. Like, who really cares? They don't really care about the sport. But when you see somebody who actually cares about the game, those tears were not because of the $1 million. The man knows that he can get on. He's been on shows before and he'll be on the challenge again. He can be on any one of these shows that he wants. He's going to come out and be a top social media influencer. Or he's going to get booked different places. He's going to get his money. But he's a competitor. And I understand competitors because I am one. All I knew growing up was sports and winning. I've been on teams. I've been on teams with partners, and it can be hard, especially when there's a difference between skill, athleticism, whatever. It can be difficult. But my point is, I like the fact that he really values the game and he really wants to win that bad. I liked all the rookies, the ones that I can think of, because I can think of obviously Horacio and Olivia, Raven, Johnny, and Nurys. I like all of them. I like all 5 of them. I would love for all of them to come back. They gave us the right amount of drama. They gave us bold moves, some of them. Johnny in particular. We had Johnny making his declaration that he wants to take out the vets early on when they won that early. I almost want to call it head of household because I've been watching so much Big Brother. They won the first daily. I don't know if there's a name for that, but Big Brother has seeped into my head so much from watching so much of it. Yeah, when he called out all the vets, it wasn't the smartest move, but it was a fun move. It was a bold move. And then the love triangle he had initially with Raven and Nurys. And Nurys was also really good at the game. And then she had her little second love triangle with Jordan and Tori. And then Olivia, now it's like we have to see Olivia come back. I would love to see Olivia come back and get another crack at a final and win. It feels like unfinished business now. So now we're left with 3 teams. We got Banani, we got Tori and Devin, and Jordan and Aneesa. So being that we lost, in my opinion, the biggest threat to Devin and Tori winning, their odds just got that much better. We got a hobbled Aneesa and Jordan. We got Bananas and Nanny, who are not really working well together. And so far, Tori and Devin are working together seamlessly. So I'm interested to see what happens next week. I still believe my list still stands as is, but now we take out the second place, which was Horacio and Olivia. They were performing in second place too. So I think I was pretty accurate with that. And now we just plug Bananas and Nanny in there, who are always going to be dangerous, like I said. But yeah, you never know what can happen in a final, especially when there's multiple days to go. But Devin and Tori are in a good position so far. And I wouldn't mind them getting each of their first wins either. I don't really want to see. It's tough because I want to see Nanny win only for the reasons that she gave. I'm real sensitive to that. Yeah, I don't remember what the first season he won was. I can't remember if it was the season he won with CT. No, the season that Wes won was the duel, I believe. Yeah, I think the first season that Wes won of the challenge was the duel. The first duel season. Thank God for that. Johnny kind of fueled the whole beginning of the game. He gave other rookies the confidence too. Yeah. Who's going to get the sabotages? Ooh, good question. So they made a temporary truce. Jordan and Tori and Devin and Bananas and Nanny made a temporary truce and they started giving all the sabotages to Horacio and Olivia. So now that Horacio and Olivia aren't in the game, I have a tendency to feel like, why would either of them sabotage Jordan and Aneesa when they know they're going to be bringing up the caboose every single time on every single challenge? So I think that by default, they are now going to start using those sabotages on each other. And I'll be honest with you too, also, that I do kind of doubt Aneesa's ability to complete the rest of the final. Maybe she surprised me. Maybe she surprised me, but I don't know. I don't know about that. But yeah, overall, this season has been a great season. I'm going to have a recap of the overall season when everything finishes up. But I have thoroughly enjoyed this ride or die season. Is it perfect? No, it's never going to be perfect, but it's my challenge. It's back. I'm so happy they took away the agents theme. The agents theme was kind of cool once, maybe even twice, but nah, over that now. They're filming Challenge All Stars 4 right now, so I'm excited about that. As I told you guys, Big Brother Canada is probably going to be coming up in the next month or so. I'm going to cover it here. So soon I'm going to have a live Big Brother season to dive into again. I'm excited for that. But as for now, we still got, I believe, one more episode of the challenge from what I heard. And then I think they have a reunion episode that they filmed in the UK, which is pretty cool. And I might be getting to meet some of these people soon. Who knows? Who knows? But if that happens, y'all will find out. And thanks for checking out this recap. I will talk to y'all soon.